Hello and welcome to my video on the top 3 Forex brokers for Canadians. And in this video, I'll be taking a look at these 3 brokers, not in any particular order. It should be noted that I am not ranking them 1, 2, and 3, just giving you 3 of the best. The first one, of course, is Forex.com. As you can see, it is an American broker, but they obviously have offerings for Canada as well. Highly regulated in the United States and Canada, well known. One of the pioneers, really, of the online trading revolution for retail traders. So that in and of itself helps. You can contact them quite easily. They have live chat phone numbers for 24/5 if the markets are open. The regulation is U.S., Canada, really throughout the world. One of the better regulated markets out there. The platforms that are available with MetaTrader 4, they have their platform that they offer. It's a strong and it's a nice platform. Really, web trading, don't know that any one of them is really any better than the rest. This is a platform that they built for in-house for quite some time. It has a long history of usage, so it's certainly stable, which is probably the biggest concerns that you would have with all of that. So when you go to the markets, you can see that they offer Forex, indices, stocks, commodities. So let's go to Forex. You can see typical spreads. They are floating spreads, but it can be as low. For example, the Aussie can be as low as 0.8 of a pip. Typical is 1.5. There's a little over 80 currency pairs. So I can spread that out, and you can see there are some rather exotic ones. Chinese renminbi, the ruble, Thai baht, and then of course you have metals priced in Japanese yen, gold markets in Aussie, Swiss, euro, pound, yen, dollar, pound Mexican, peso, euro, Hungarian forint. So quite a bit of flexibility as far as what you can trade, but you can trade indices as well, all the truly big ones, and then you can trade CFDs on stocks, Amazon, Tesla, Apple, Barclays, some of the bigger ones here. Spread varies depending on the product, of course. So for like Apple, it's as low as 90 cents. Low commissions. So you can also, so you can go to the support here. You can look at the comparison of all the platforms. You can get the FAQs. How do I fund my account? You can go into my account and you can do credit card or wire transfer. You can fund with a personal or business checks, or you cannot, excuse me. You are not allowed to do third parties. So, and that's pretty straightforward and pretty common as well. You have a couple of different opportunities here to open up an account. You can open up a standard account, which is spread pricing. This is high volume FX trading direct markets account. So then you start to talk about commissions. They recommend a minimum of 25,000 as a down or as a opening balance. So obviously that's not going to be for everybody. But, nonetheless, it is what it is. When you look at some of the popular markets, so let's just take a look at the euro. you can see that it'll show what's going on there. It shows the latest research. It's pretty straightforward. It is, it lists the pivot points and stuff like that. So there's a lot of information to be found here on the site itself. So we can go to take a look at the margins. And you can see it does depend on the currency pair. Obviously, like made margins less than to open up. And, depending on the pair, if it's, like here, the Aussie Polish Zloty, you're going to need 13% margin. But then you start to talk about Aussie CAD as 3%. The more common ones are going to be a lot less. You can also base your account in US dollars if you choose to. Pretty straightforward. It's just got a huge list you have to kind of go through. As far as education is concerned, they do have various courses. They are pretty decent. Technical analysis, it gives you an idea of how to do some basic technical analysis. Again, I've said in multiple videos that I've done, you should not be looking for your broker as the be-all, end-all of education. But as brokers go, these are, Forex.com is pretty good when it comes to education. So Interactive Brokers is interesting because it can handle anything from a retail trader to a hedge fund. So that makes it a little bit of its own animal. So you can do stocks, options, futures, currencies, bonds, and funds from a single integrated account. So you could be talking about, do you want to, what do you want to trade? Okay, well, first thing is platforms. So you go to the platforms. Trader Workstation is their proprietary platform. It's pretty well known. You can do a lot of coding, make your own indicators. There's a whole subsect of traders out there that do that. So that's what you would be using. 99% of the time, they do have the mobile and the client portal. They have APIs that you can use to do your own stuff if you're really that into it. Margin rates. So let's take a look at that. And it's really going to depend on what you're doing. But you can do interest rate loans to borrow more. And again, this is going to be one of those situations where it really depends on the markets you're trading. They are extraordinarily heavily regulated. They have to be, because quite frankly, if Interactive Brokers were to go under, it could probably cause ripples throughout the global marketplace. In multiple markets, not just Forex or not just the stock market. I mean, we're talking major problems. So they are, without a doubt, one of the most well-capitalized firms. 135 markets. Like I said, you can do just massive. Americas, these are all the stock exchanges. Canada, Mexico, ETFs, Canada, Mexico, blah, blah, blah. And that's just the Americas. I mean, you can go to Europe. Just an amazing amount of futures and stock exchanges. So when you look to their website, they will consider Forex kind of its own thing. It's like a global market. So if you click on currency trading, you can see real-time currency quotes pop up. They don't mark up. It's all commission-based. These are the currencies that you can trade. You can trade them back and forth against each other. So it does offer quite a bit of variety. Now, the thing about Interactive Brokers is they're not a high-levered type of situation. You do not come in here expecting to get 500 to 1 of leverage. That's not how it works. in the real world. You know, it's not the retail and brokerage firms and interbank markets, which is what this is going to be more like. Totally different worlds. You do not lever up like that. Leverage typically is 20 or 1 to 20. It just depends on what you're trading. They will bring up and down the margin requirements depending on the volatility. So this is a much different scenario. Minimum trade is 25,000 as far as 25,000 units, so like a quarter lot. Anything less than that, you're going to have all kinds of problems. They do offer 20 order types, like limit if touch, one cancels all, scaling in, that type of thing. So it's really, really good for a lot of flexibility. You quite often can find charting packages that go on top of FX Trader or Trader Workstation. There's a ton of them out there, well beyond the purview of this video. Education, they do have what they call the Interactive Brokers Campus, Traders Academy. It's actually it's pretty good. They got webinars and such, Traders Insight, market commentary from 70 industry professionals. I mean, this is more along the lines of professional kind of analysis. So you're going to have to keep that in mind. This is a completely different field than a retail brokerage. It is a retail brokerage, but it also handles the institutional side as well. They are funded by check or bank transfer. That's the only way they do it. So that, of course, is something to keep in mind. HYCM markets, HYCM, they have been around since 77, as you can see. They offer 40 plus Forex pairs. Maximum leverage 1 to 500. Now, this is obviously a lot different than what you saw over at Interactive Brokers. But then again, you don't have the ability to change to trade Forex and the Budapest Exchange. So it kind of really comes down to what you're looking for. So the thing about HYCM is their spreads, as you can see, are a little higher. You can do classic, you can do fixed, you can do raw. Now, raw is 0.6, like in the Aussie, plus $4 per round. So they give you the ability to trade a lot of different markets. But really, at this point, you are more or less looking at a scenario where this has good leverage, 1 to 133, 1 to 20 in ETFs. But the spreads really are a bit of a killer compared to other ones. Strong brokerage, lots of offerings. But if you are a short-term trader, that could be a bit of an option or an obstacle that you need to pay attention to. They do have a lot of online classroom, seminar, live events. They are pretty strong about that. They are regulated in Canada, the UK, and a handful of other countries. Deposits and withdrawals. Here you can see Bankwire, Visa, WebMoney, NetTeller, Skrill. There are minimums for each one, 20 for everything but the Bankwire, so it's really not an issue, but it is something that you need to pay attention to. Again, this is, if you're more of a swing trader, this one's going to be fine for you. If you're going to be more short-term, it's probably all about Forex.com if you're in Canada. If you want the world, and especially if you have a larger account, then it's going to be about Interactive Brokers.